for this show in particular. I don't want it to just feel like normal life. I want it to feel like elevated normal life. You know, getting that sort of slash into the background, these pops of light, and then having just a nice, beautiful key on the talent is important.
That's how you do it.
My childhood films that inspired me to love movies. I just remember sitting in the theater and watching Jurassic Park and just being in awe of the experience. David Fincher's The Game. The craft really stood out to me. And then I just realized I don't want to just learn the camera and learn what it's about. I want to be a cinematographer. I fell in love with it. I don't want to just point a camera and be like, okay, medium, close up, wide. I want it to mean something. We were shooting this documentary called Dragon Slayer. And I remember I was sitting in the back seat of the car filming, and they were getting absolutely fucking wasted and high. And all I could think of was like, wow, this is a really beautiful image. I might die, but this is a really beautiful image. And I guess I'm willing to risk my life for this.
We can pay you.
Anything you want.
I interviewed with Jason and went really well. And then literally 2 days later, I was in Atlanta prepping for Ozark. I don't like doing the same project over the same style over and over again. I like switching it up. That's why you look at my career and it's all very varied work. Ozark is a dark story, obviously. This show I'm doing now is more of a warm, romantic love story. So I like having those different genres because I don't want to get pigeonholed into one thing.
You got to give it your soul because a ranch
only gives what it gets.
That's right.
When you're building a lookbook, it's not one image that defines what your show should look like. It's the essence of multiple images, one part of one image, one part of one show, one part of this, one part of that combines to make your look. Ransom Canyon is a very warm, lush, romantic show. So our imagery that we pulled from other shows, from photography, from art, and all goes into the lookbook and shows the aesthetic and how we're going to make the show. A show you wouldn't think of would be Deacon's Revolutionary Road. Not a very lush, romantic show, but like there's a warmth to it. And something about that embodied what we wanted to bring into our show for certain scenes. There were some obvious comparisons like Outer Range, which had some ranch stuff and was shot in the same area that we shot in. Those are just a few examples. We have hundreds of images in the lookbook. For me, I immediately get rid of the lookbook once I start shooting. Once we're going, I want all of that to be subconscious so that I can make a unique show the way we want to make it. I used Aputure lights a lot in Ransom Canyon. Using the lights on a big set, I like the versatility. I love the power of the new lights, the XT26. The XT26, I'd say, was a replacement for a 4K light. And I think what excites me about LED lights and Aputure in particular these days is the power and the versatility that are coming out and the quality. In this scene here, which is one of the first scenes where you'll see Staten, you notice these sort of beams coming through the window and through the door. Of course, we have a bunch of haze in the room, but on the outside here, we had XT26 just bouncing into the light bridge and then coming through the window. I think we also, above the window here, we had some of the infinity bars kind of mounted high. And so the infinity bars in softboxes kind of, extend the light like softly above. So this is a stage. So outside these windows, I just made sure they put lots of plants everywhere. Anything to give the light an imperfect path to the talent. I believe in the background we had this 1200D, making this slash mark on the background, and then 600C as well, kind of reaching further in, because as you can see, there's actually two different paths to the light. And then I believe for talent, probably an infinity bar, a double infinity bar, kind of edging her. And then for the key through another window, we had some sort of soft light that was kind of through double diffusion, keying her face. And you could sort of see the same thing on this image with Jack. There's light hitting the background. And you notice this hot spot here, and that's probably also the 1200D or the XT26. On him, you notice there's like a, kind of hard light hitting his body, but also something soft. So I think that's where we had the XT26 into a light bridge, which is one of my favorite ways to light these days. I think in this one we were using the 4x4 light bridge, but on multiple occasions, I think I sent some images. We used the umbrella, have that sort of as a bounce, and then aim the center reflector to kind of hit low and get that sort of nice slash across the body. A lot of times I like it softer on the face, but sort of harder coming across the body. And that's a great way to do that, actually, is with one light. And then lastly, this is a really simple image, actually, although it came out pretty beautiful. This is simply a 600C with a PAR and then PAR reflector. I think it looks like I just put some Hampshire on the barn door. And that's just giving this color across, backlighting him. It's an LED on a stand just from a distance, probably a 2x1, something to get that moonlight across the pool.
Can we not do this right now?
Is that why you're avoiding me?
Don't be like this.
Be like what? I don't get it, Laura.
And then when you get to the close-up, we just had some infinity bars and soft boxes that are like mounted high. Maybe a little bouncing that back just to get a little bit of fill. There's a tube on the floor, just giving them a little bit of that uplight, just to give it a nice, soft, romantic kind of glow. And then practicals and some moonlight background, and that's it. There's one more image, and that's a bar set. This is the XT26 Direct, sort of coming in to get this sort of backsplash of light, and then a 1200D here, kind of backsplash of light, and then just a big soft key with a book light, just right off of the corner. Above them, in the beams of the bar, there are some soft boxes that we built that are continuing the light from the daylight of the window. Outside are the space lights, giving the general ambient daylight outside, and that's also true for all the previous sets.
Banji's just cancelled. But they're playing tonight.
Not anymore, they're not.
I think it's important to find something that you love in the work that you're doing. I'm always looking at how to evoke feeling, how to, divide the frame and place things in a way that brings emotion to it, or an idea or a message to every scene, every shot. And I think I bring that into my cinematography. I don't want to just make a beautiful image. I want to evoke the idea of the script, the emotion of the characters, not just framing for a medium or a close-up, like having everything, the lighting, the design, the dividing of the frame, integrate into that and make it an image.